warns that while no credit card information may have been taken, customers should still be alerted to the possibility of identity theft. The store will offer free credit monitoring to anyone affected and is reaching out to any customers who may have been impacted by the breach. And the parents of a little girl say they found thousands of fentanyl pills stuffed inside a glowworm stuffed animal they bought from an Arizona thrift store. According to Phoenix police, there are about 5,000 of them. The toy was bought in El Mirage in Northwest Phoenix. The parents handed over the drugs to police. Authorities are reminding people to inspect all opened items. For iNews, I'm Nikki Whaley.
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of your income, assets, and credit, giving sellers greater confidence in you. Go to rocketmortgage.com or call us today at 8338-ROCKET.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information, appraisal, and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states and MLSConsumerAccess.org number 3030.
Tired of lying awake, tossing and turning, just hoping for a few hours of sleep? Get the sleep you crave with the one-of-a-kind Tempur-Pedic. Only Tempur-Pedic uses proprietary Tempur material that continuously adapts and responds to your body to relieve pressure, so you get deep, uninterrupted sleep. All night, every night. Now's a perfect time to renew your sleep with the one-of-a-kind comfort of Tempur-Pedic and save up to $500 on adjustable mattress sets. Learn more at TempurPedic.com.
Recently on Mike Jackson Outdoors, one of the most underrated and misunderstood outdoor hobbies.
It's amazing how many people look and turn their noses up at ice fishing. We've been promoting ice fishing for 30 years. People who turn their noses up have never stepped out on the ice, don't understand that they can stay warm by using a pop-up shelter, an ice tent, and have a ball. How much ice right now on Lake Pogema? I can't even pronounce it anymore. How much ice are you standing on?
There's about 10 inches out here, 8 to 10, so which is not as much as normal for this time of the year. You get a little farther north, and then they're driving trucks out on the ice. And I'm not saying there's not a couple trucks on the ice here, but one of them is not mine.
Listen to Mike Jackson Outdoors every Sunday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. right here on Chicago's Smart Talk.
Welcome to Inside the Skev, and I'm your host, Aaron Masliansky. And today we are going to talk about something that is of true interest to me, to my heart, which is the connection of the Chicagoland area to the global market and the economy and everything else. And we're going to be speaking with Michael Edgar, and Michael is the president of GWDC, and which runs SelectChicago. And that's a curated program that helps foreign investors and international businesses tap into regional Chicago area economic development programs. The organization has a large impact on bringing global investment to Skokie and Evanston and many other places around here. So Michael, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're very welcome, Aaron. I know you and I have met a couple of times, so this is going to be a lot of fun today.
Absolutely. And it's been great to speak with you the times that we've gotten to see each other in person pre-pandemic. And, so much has happened since we first met, and, a lot to talk about here. But tell us a little bit about GWDC, SelectChicago, so the public knows a little bit more what we're talking about.
Well, GWDC is an economic development corporation. And so we get this a lot of what is economic development. And it helps that I actually read off the very long definition. Economic development is the intentional practice of improving a community's economic well-being and quality of life. It includes a broad range of activities to attract, create, and retain jobs, and to foster resilient, pro-growth tax base and an inclusive economy. The practice of economic development comprises a collaborative effort involving industry, government, and a myriad of community stakeholders. And that is a definition from the International Economic Development Council. So when you're talking to your economic development officers with most communities, many of them have gone through the training through the IEDC, and these are the types of things that we talk about with economic development. GWD. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go. No, and I was just going to say that, like in economic development, and I have somewhat of a background. I'm going to give a shout out to my time as an intern. When I was in college, I worked for the Village of Morton Grove, and I worked with a guy named Tim Angel, who was the economic development director at that time of Morton Grove. And just I kind of saw, and I've worked in the planning departments too, and just see how integral the economic development planners are to making sure that the community is a healthy place. But you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Well, in absolutely, like Morton Grove has done a really great job over the last 20 years with economic development. And this kind of goes into when we started GWDC in 2012, it's a independent 501c3 corporation. So we're not for profit. All of our profits from our programs and activities go back into programs. But our mission is fostering economic development in challenged communities by supporting, incubating, or creating core businesses, pursuing transformative real estate development projects, and attracting foreign direct investment at the local level. And so I know today we're going to talk so much more about attracting the foreign direct investment at the local level. But I think, let's kind of go through why we want to attract foreign direct investment at the local level. It really simply is one of those wonderful ways of broadening the tax base and using the existing labor that we have here without getting into infighting. And what I mean by that is, let's pretend I have a car dealership in Skokie and in Morton Grove. And those are, across the tollway from one another, except for some funny places. But when you have sales tax that happens on those cars, and you have other types of secondary economic input, it tends to go to where those things are located. So there are a lot of times where a municipality will induce or incentivize a large employer to move from one side of from a town to another town, typically within the same service area. And that really comes out to a zero-sum game. What we've decided to do with SelectChicago, and why it's very popular with over 80 different municipalities within 300 kilometers of O'Hare Airport, is if we're bringing people in, we're a rising tide lifting all the boats. So LanzaTech at the Skokie Tech Park is a phenomenal type of case study that Leslie Murphy with the Village of Skokie worked on for a number of years. And then you're seeing how much growth it is by bringing in, I believe they're a German company that came in. They started with 3 people. Now they have 100 people. And those were not jobs. They kind of like popped out of thin air once they arrived. So this is where we have really doubled down on working with different companies and trade offices and communities in attracting local foreign direct investment.
And they're an amazing story, LanzaTech. I've had them on the show, and just to keep seeing them in the news. They were in the news recently because they're partnering with different airlines for fuel, because what they do is they take pollution and they use microorganisms to break that down into fuel, and then they're going to be fueling jets. So you're basically taking all this carbon that would have just been emitted and you're putting it into the system, and you're basically reducing your pollution by a significant amount. It's amazing. Yeah. And it's in Skokie.
Right. And did you read Bill Gates' new book that came out last week?
I have not read the book yet, but I've seen the promotions for it.
Yeah, well, half of his book is about how he's doing his carbon offsets is by buying better jet fuel for his private jets, because then they could be carbon neutral. So this goes right into the LanzaTech type of thing of how important these biofuels and advanced fuels are going to be for reducing climate change.
Absolutely. And I think it's the importance, and this is a little bit of a side topic, but it's the combination of all these different types of things that are going to help us reduce climate change. It could be biofuels, it could be solar, wind, natural gas, things that can reduce what we're doing now, but still have that economic productivity.
Right. And one of the nice things about having the corporate parent of SelectChicago is GWDC is we're a nimble not-for-profit. So by independent, that means we're not backed by any one municipality, county, or city, state. It allows us to have freedom of movement and be fast. So there are days we're working on some solar projects on the western side of the state of Illinois. We're looking at creating some new housing in some areas in Indiana. We go up into Wisconsin a lot and work with a number of their schools, helping with business mentoring. So there's a lot of different things that we're allowed to do, allows us to keep nimble and keeping our pulse on what's actually happening at the ground level.
So just to help better understand, you partner with these different municipalities who want to work with you, and then create these different programs so it works for everybody involved. So if, let's say, a company like Alanzatech says, hey, I want to locate in the Chicagoland area, you're going to help direct them to where the best place is for them, and then work with with Skokie, for instance, you work with Leslie Murphy to help try to make it best for them and go to the tech park. And is that correct?
And that is, and sometimes it's a little bit more than that. The state of Illinois set up Intersect Illinois a couple of years ago. And so when larger groups come in from the governor gets a call, he'll talk to Intersect Illinois, they'll go find spaces for that. Same thing up in Wisconsin, the governor will call their statewide EDO to talk about helping create some different relationships and look at properties. Where it starts getting a little bit more muddled is when you have these smaller companies. So I can use the Foxconn project in Wisconsin as a better example. When Foxconn was coming in, Governor Walker had gotten a call and then said that, okay, by Thursday, guy got a call Sunday night. By Thursday, you need to show them 3 1,000-acre sites that could be shovel ready in 3 months. So they have a team for that. That's set up. Those are those big Herculean type of things. And sometimes it's the best total fit. And so we'll have companies that came in. We're working with one right now out of Australia that we gave to the Office of Trade and Investment with the state of Illinois and Intersect, and they're helping find them some spaces. But where the state leaves off where we come in is also who's helping them with their setting up their corporation here. How do we help them find the resources for accounting or HR or other folks that help them as they're landing to get a total package beyond just the incentives in the inducements. Like Alanzatech had come in and they've grown, they were in the incubator and they've done a lot of great things. Those are some things that the state and the municipality are able to do. We can kind of step in behind that. There's a large transportation company that's investing $12 million in the region. We took the initial call from the trade counselor in one of the countries we work with, and we helped them figure out where within the greater Chicago region they should be. We introduced them to different attorneys for their corporate structure, immigration, accounting with overseas is a lot different than moving from Indiana to Illinois. If you're moving from the EU here, there's a lot of different things. So there's a whole aftercare program that we're able to work with these companies to help them be sticky and want to stay here.
And do you then get paid by the municipalities for that?
No, actually, we get very little. We have different seat licenses is the way we've been working with our municipalities, to be completely straightforward on it. And they pay us an annual subscription fee to be part of our program. Similarly, we get fee-based services when we're helping different companies. If they need a marketing study done, we can actually project manage that. And then we also have corporate sponsors that help subsidize the daily operation of SelectChicago.
Well, it's invaluable. And we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, I want to talk more about why it's so important to have this direct foreign investment into Chicago, why people should really care about this, and much, much more. So everyone, please stick around. We'll be right back.
They can still see us or no?
I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's Beth, L-E-W-I-S Team.com. Or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number one, stclassmovers.com. Looking for safe and nurturing daycare or preschool for your child? Well, JCC Chicago is here for you. Introducing JCC Chicago Early Childhood's newest location at Beth Emmet Synagogue in Evanston for children 6 weeks to 5 years old. Contact Director Nicole Correa at jccchicago.org/tour for a virtual tour. Our nurturing educators and social services team creates safe spaces for kids to develop social and emotional skills, including teamwork, independence, and empathy through classmate interaction. Our year-round outdoor classrooms provide abundant space to discover and nurture a lifelong love of learning. Full and half-day programs help children grow and flourish in their new classroom community. Schedule a virtual tour at jccchicago.org/tour to see why parents say they quickly notice the magic that happened day in and day out. And ask about the Hebrew Immersion Program. All the info's at jccchicago.org/tour. That's jccchicago.org/tour.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit BrainLinksAcademics.com. That's BrainLinksAcademics.com.
You're listening to Smart Talk
on AM 1590, 95.9 FM, the Smart Talk app, and WCGORadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev, and I'm here with Michael Edgar, and we are talking about foreign direct investment into Chicago. He runs GWDC and SelectChicago, which helps bring investment into the Chicagoland area, anywhere within 300 kilometers of O'Hare Airport. So, I say that 300 kilometers within from O'Hare Airport. Is that really what is the catalyst for Chicago, the transportation?
Absolutely. And, while we were at break, we were talking about, the predecessor was running Intersect Illinois, and he would talk about routers, roads, rivers, runways, and as why the Chicago metro area is the nexus for logistics in the United States. So if you're creating furniture. So we've had some companies from overseas that are looking to create furniture stores around here, and we asked them why Chicago, and it's honestly they're saying it's the middle of the country. You can get anywhere within 2 days on a truck, and so that becomes a logistics piece. The other thing for Chicago is the deep labor pool. It's a mega city. It's one of the top. There are only 30 mega cities in the world right now. If you look at mega cities, those are the whole areas that kind of input into a region. Also, one of the reasons why we look at things regionally is that we also work with a lot of international trade offices. Most of these trade offices only have, smallest one I think has 5 states, largest one has this hemisphere. So, it makes it a lot easier for them to work with an agency that's really focused on FDI when it gets muddled with all the concerns a local municipality might have, or a large city may have. If you're really focused on foreign direct investment, that allows them a lot easier lift to get engaged and get moving fast.
Right. I mean, we have some of the most municipalities in the Chicagoland area that you can find anywhere.
Only 256, I believe, just on the Illinois side. Just on the Collar County.
A friend of mine and I sometimes we've had these conversations where we're just joking with each other and just trying to remember all the names of all the suburbs in Chicago. And it keeps going. But what you do really is to bring them all there. Now, some people would say, Chicagoland area is in a tough spot, that the tax situation, the budget situation, and people are going south. The weather, the weather's always been the weather. But what would you say to that? Why is Chicago such a great place to invest?
Well, it comes into a number of things that a lot of these other places don't have. We have a tremendous amount of land area that allows for development. To say we have the Collar counties, but beyond that, there's lots and lots of land. Second, every place has the rightful space it needs, such as if I'm looking to start a tech company, I need the resources from Stanford, I'm going to go to the West Coast. But if I'm doing ag tech, agricultural technology, I want to be in Chicago. We have plenty of agricultural companies. But some of the other things, we talked about that earlier. We have a deep talent pool. We have a lot of wonderful universities. We have a urban center, that we can go to for art and entertainment. But when I'm talking to a lot of people that have long-term horizons, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Michigan have one thing nobody else really has, which is Lake Michigan. And so down the road, we have plenty of fresh water that allows for a lot of growth, where Arizona is going to have a real hard time with all the drought type of conditions that are coming up. We're also at 700 feet above sea level, so Lake Michigan is tidal locked. So if there's global warming, to the extent that it changes the amount of rise in the seas, it's not going to affect us at all. So from a long-term statistical type of place, we're one of the more environmentally resilient places to set up shop.
Absolutely, we are. And, you talk about the universities, and we've got some amazing universities all around us. Northwestern universities here in Evanston. What are some of the things that you do that you've seen that helps bring investment here because of Northwestern or other universities in the Chicagoland area?
Well, a lot of it still comes into the talent pool, and then understanding how the universities parlay that. Last week, we had our foreign direct investment workshop. We had the country of Spain bringing two companies that were looking to set up shop here. We were lucky enough to have Jess Fuller, who runs the Garage program. She's one of the people who helps coach the teams that are getting funding out of Northwestern University and their incubator accelerator programs. And we had her as a panelist. And it was just really great to be able to leverage different faculty and different resources to be able to step outside the university setting to give their insight to what is available and possible in the community. So it's really great working, say, with Northwestern in that case of having somebody welcoming and open to talk about somebody's businesses in coming in.
Yeah, I think that puts us at a huge competitive advantage over a place where maybe you don't have those types of relationships there. But and then in terms of Skokie, you partner directly with them. I mean, Skokie's one of the organizations that partners with SelectChicago, GWDC. So how has that relationship gone, and what do you think about all the new development going on in downtown Skokie?
Well, my hat's off to Leslie Murphy, who's in the economic development department with the Village of Skokie. She signed on relatively early to the SelectChicago program 4 years ago, and she sits on our advisory board. So this gives us a lot of time to do much more working relationship pieces. She's definitely a connector. She's brought us into working with, say, Jones Lang LaSalle and also the Skokie Tech Park. And over the last couple of years, just seeing how much the Skokie Tech Park has been that catalyst for driving attention and development into downtown Skokie. You have the new hotel that's going in, you have the new parking structure, you have the reskinning of the one building at the Eli Lilly that's kind of that phase 4 for the Skokie Tech Park. I mean, it just really doubles down on creating this whole great center. My other favorite thing is an Ignite, which is the video gaming place, and that is great. And so
and we're going to talk more about that after the break. I'm sorry we cut you off there, but when we come back, we'll talk more about that and how the region is adjusting for the pandemic and post-pandemic life. So everyone stick around. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search. From immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses, my clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com, or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity, Illinois residential mortgage licensee. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to First Class Moving and Storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to First Class Moving and Storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number 1, stclassmovers.com. Looking for safe and nurturing daycare or preschool for your child? Well, JCC Chicago is here for you. Introducing JCC Chicago Early Childhood's newest location at Beth Emmett Synagogue in Evanston for children 6 weeks to 5 years old. Contact Director Nicole Correa at jccchicago.org/tour for a virtual tour. Our nurturing educators and social services team create safe spaces for kids to develop social and emotional skills, including teamwork, independence, and empathy through classmate interaction. Our year-round outdoor classrooms provide abundant space to discover and nurture a lifelong love of learning. Full and half-day programs help children grow and flourish in their new classroom community. Schedule a virtual tour at jccchicago.org/tour to see why parents say they quickly notice the magic that happened day in and day out. And ask about the Hebrew Immersion Program. All the info's at jccchicago.org/tour. That's jccchicago.org/tour.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit brainlinksacademics.com. That's brainlinksacademics.com.
This is psychic and medical intuitive Julie Ryan, host of the Ask Julie Ryan Show, heard Thursday nights from 7 to 9 Central on Chicago's Smart Talk, WCGO.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev, and here with Michael Edgar, and we are talking about GWDC and Select Chicago and foreign investment in the Chicago area. So this is such an important topic because especially, we haven't even touched on this yet. This past year has been changing for everything, right? Because of the pandemic. So you've had a shift to remote work. You've had a massive shift to online ordering, whether it be groceries or consumer products. You know, people aren't traveling as much. That changes needs. Industrial space has become a lot more in demand. Housing has become a lot more in demand in the suburbs. People need land, people need space. And again, you talked earlier about how the Chicagoland area has land, we can grow. So how have you seen things shift on your end and been able to still continue that flow of global investment?
Yeah, that's a great question, Aaron. And what we did, and we started talking about this in the spring, because traditionally we have a foreign direct investment conference called Select Chicago. It's a foreign direct investment conference. It's typically a 2-day event where we bring in the different trade offices, international investors fly in that are looking for doing community tours and learning more about an area, and we bring in different state resources and federal resources to learn about that. But we realized pretty early that that wasn't going to work. We were really optimistic in April of 2020 that maybe by September we were going to be able to have go back to our usual spot at UIC and have about 350 people all gathered for a large conference. I kind of goes back to the strength of the network. We pivoted, and what we did is we were going to do hybrid online events, and this is before I'd even heard the term Zoom. And we got information from the Hanover Fairs US, which does events all around the world, and they helped point us to an online virtual event company called Feedloop, and it's a great package. And so we pivoted to create a virtual workshop series. And so it's actually allowed us to dramatically increase our reach, be able to bring in speakers on a much more regular environment, allow us to bring and double down on our programming. So we were able to shift to a virtual model by doing a monthly workshop series. And so instead of 2 full days in September, we now have over 60 hours of recorded content about people wanting to come here and learn more about foreign direct investment. And these are either catered to the municipalities wanting to learn more about that process, being able to showcase different countries, like do you even know where Uruguay is? No, if your face drops, it's basically between Brazil and Argentina in South
Uruguay.
America.
Yeah,
Uruguay.
Yeah.
You got to get it right too. Until I talked to the Consulate General Mateus, I always call it Uruguay, and he's like, no, it's you get all the fun things with that, but we're able to bring in so many more people and open it up to a great level of people. It is tough doing a lot more through Zoom. People are itching to get back face to face and knee to knee. Travel from abroad in is still heavily restricted, where we have companies that want to come in, but they can't get their visa paperwork done. They can come on limited business visas, and the visa piece is way above my pay grade. But people still want to be here. But for us, it's actually helped us focus and become stronger.
Do you see that people want more spaces where they do have larger industrial warehousing space than before, or is it pretty similar what the needs are from foreign companies?
Same thing. I mean, it comes into, like, we're working with one electrical, they make some type of an electrical widget, and in year 1 they need 5,000 square feet, but in year 5 they need 50,000 square feet. So they want to figure out how they can incrementally grow within a community. We have another company that's coming in that wants to get into transportation. And again, right now they need a glorified co-working facility for the next 6 months. But after that, they're going to need a 10-person sales office, and it's a logistics transportation company. And so they may need a 10-acre site just to park big rigs. Yeah. So it's all over the map.
It's all over the map, but you see people wanting to get office space. They are going to be in the office, not working remotely.
That's a little different. In the fall, we had 2 people from Jones Lang LaSalle come and talk, and we talked about this a good deal about what the office market's going to look like post-COVID. And they had some great stats that I think 25% of the United States workforce is working from home currently, but pre-pandemic, that was 7%. And after, when we think about normalization, let's say 2023, that might be 15%. So you're going to lose right about 8% of the workforce that no longer need the large office spaces. So the large office spaces are going to definitely need to be rethought. The idea of hub and spoke, and so you might have the mothership in the loop, but in all the transit-oriented development, like in Skokie and in Evanston, if you can get there on the Metra or on the L, you're going to have smaller satellite facilities where people can come and work, once or twice a week if they want to have face-to-face meetings. But a lot of people are still working from home. And so we're going to see a kind of a shift to a lot more people who can work at home in the office arena or the marketing and sales. They're going to be staying in their home offices and come into coordinating spaces. And then once a month, they'll go in for the big meetings. And this is, we talked about this for a good hour last fall. So that's what we're seeing.
Well, the shift to this, I think, brings efficiencies. I can speak for myself, just working from home a lot more. It reduces the transportation time. And when you talk about reduction of transportation time, maybe that reduces traffic throughout the region. And maybe that even creates more benefit to somebody coming in from out of the country, where you have this amazing transportation network throughout Chicago. And they won't have as much rush hour as they would have been dealing with in the past.
Yeah, and you're right. And I think, and it all goes to different levels in the organization, such as if you're creating a place that is making a widget, you have your workforce that needs to come in, and then you need people that are watching the workforce. But the folks in the sales, they're going to be off using the network, driving around to get to meetings and make introductions, and they're still going to want to see a lot of people, but they may not. They'll still have a hot desk in wherever they are. So I see a lot of that. It'll just be very interesting as things come out. We had somebody come up to Old Orchard, and I took them to dinner a couple weeks back, and they were from the city, and they expected it was only going to take about 15 minutes from Irving Park and 9094. I wound up taking them 45 minutes because they completely undercounted traffic. They didn't think traffic still existed, and they were wrong.
Well, when you have weather too, sometimes you could certainly get traffic anyway. Now, one thing though that's also different in the past month is that we have a different administration in office, and not to talk about the politics of it, certainly in the Trump administration, there were a lot of trade wars and tariffs and different things like that. Do you think that the shift to the Biden administration may change how easy it is or will it make it more challenging for people to be coming in from out of the country for investment?
Those are all good questions. I mean, they're doing a complete rethink of most programs right now. But at the end of the day, everything that I'm working on in my world is all economic and job focused, or investment and job focused. So when you have companies that wish to come in and set up shop, those create primary, secondary, and tertiary jobs. So that is stuff everybody agrees on. If you're talking about the influx of EB5 regional investing into businesses and into development projects, that's still found money. That's money that is then put into the system. So those are good programs. Other things at borders, that's a little bit beyond what we get into. As companies are coming across, eventually as we get through the vaccination period, they're going to show the United States is open for business, and there's going to be a lot of pent-up demand for a while for businesses coming in. At the interim, the amount of companies looking to relocate here and pings that we get from international folks, that's been relentless, as in it, we're getting even double demand we had pre-pandemic. So I think the politics of it, they're going to look at what's best for the United States and encourage the support or expansion of existing programs. And that would be my belief. And I think with all the money that's being put into the CARES Act, but also into different existing programs in DC, like the Select USA program, these all become great starting points for people to develop.
Yeah, I think that I really can't wait to see what happens as, things go back to a new normal, I'd say, and more people can travel freely, because you'll see where the resilience is in the world. I mean, in Europe, it seems like the economy is not picking up like it is here in the United States or in China, and just in other regions throughout the world, it looks to be like it's more challenging. But I think that we have a great future here in the United States, in Chicago. Certainly want to talk about your perspective of the future, and we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Aaron Masliansky, longtime Skokie and Evanston resident, host of Inside the Skev, and local real estate expert. As a community connector and realtor with Dreamtown Realty in downtown Evanston, I know firsthand what makes the Skev such an amazing place to live. When I'm helping my clients buy and sell properties inside of the Skev or out, I'm doing it with the best technology and support team behind me at Dreamtown. During the pandemic, I've been able to help my clients seamlessly stay on track with their home search, from immersive 3D Matterport tours, professional photos, to virtual open houses. My clients can find their homes safely and comfortably, and even from their couch. When you're ready to make a move, know that I'll be here to help. You can always find out more about me at skevinston.com/real estate. Again, that's skevinston.com/real estate, or email me at aaron@skevinston.com.
Mortgage rates have reached record lows recently. If you see homeownership in your future, the future is now. Think of Beth Lewis at Cross Country Mortgage as your personal mortgage shopper. She'll sort through racks and racks of home financing options until she finds exactly the right style and fit for you. She'll get you pre-approved to give you an advantage over other buyers, and she'll close your loan quickly with a highly efficient process driven by advanced mortgage technology. In 2020, Beth closed over $294 million in loans in 883 separate transactions. Beth will be here for you too, because helping people get mortgages is what she does best. Visit BethLewisTeam.com to get started. That's BethLewisTeam.com. or call 847-274-9745. That's 847-274-9745. Cross Country Mortgage LLC, NMLS 3029, www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing opportunity. Illinois residential mortgage licensee.
Reading, writing, and math are a struggle for a lot of young students. At BrainLinks, we know those skills are what paves the way to independence and success. Our specialists will help your child develop the habits they need to make sure they strive, not only in class, but out in the world in general. And of course, for everyone's safety, our lessons are done completely online. For more info on our team members and to schedule your initial consultation, visit brainlinksacademics.com. That's brainlinksacademics.com.
Looking for safe and nurturing daycare or preschool for your child? Well, JCC Chicago is here for you. Introducing JCC Chicago Early Childhood's newest location at Beth Emmett Synagogue in Evanston for children 6 weeks to 5 years old. Contact Director Nicole Correa at jccchicago.org/tour for a virtual tour. Our nurturing educators and social services team create safe spaces for kids to develop social and emotional skills, including teamwork, independence, and empathy through classmate interaction. Our year-round outdoor classrooms provide abundant space to discover and nurture a lifelong love of learning. Full and half-day programs help children grow and flourish in their new classroom community. Schedule a virtual tour at jccchicago.org/tour to see why parents say they quickly notice the magic that happened day in and day out. And ask about the Hebrew Immersion Program. All the info's at jccchicago.org/tour. That's jccchicago.org/tour. Moving day is a happy day, but how can you be sure all of your stuff will get to the new place in the same condition they left the old place? Upgrade your experience to first-class moving and storage. You'll get a team of professionals who treat all of your belongings with care and have the right tools to make the job go smoothly. They even offer a full packing service. Upgrade to first-class moving and storage. They're local and independently owned. For more info, visit the website at firstclassmovers.com. That's the number one, stclassmovers.com.
Mike Jackson Outdoors, Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. on WCGO Radio, 1590 a.m. and 95.9 FM.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Skev. Here with Michael Edgar, and we are talking about global investment into the Chicagoland area. And talked a lot about how the organization works, how it partners with different communities around the entire Chicagoland area. But I want to ask you, when you look at it, when you look out 10 years from now, where do you see the Chicagoland region? I mean, we are, I'd say, a healthy place. We've got, a lot of diversity of economies, but where do you see it going?
That's a great question. And I think so much of that comes into putting on your big lens and putting your futurist hat on. And as you're looking at the greater Chicagoland area over the next 10 years, we have so many different things happening. And, kind of looking at over the next 10 years, we're still going to have this large demographic shift, but Chicago, or the greater Chicago region demographically, is like a cylinder. So meaning we have just as many 5-year-olds as we do 80-year-olds. And through that time, that allows through people who are 5, 10, 15, if 10 years from now, those 15-year-olds are going to be the 25-year-olds that we're hiring to generate jobs and revenue in the area. So Illinois and the greater Chicago region has a great demographic profile going forward for keeping people here. Because like when we'll look at, say, the country of South Korea, it's an upside down pyramid. So they don't have as many consumers coming up through that pipeline. So there's a demographic piece of a case to make that the greater Chicago region is going to do great. Economically, I think same thing with some of the third rail stuff in Illinois that we don't talk about. Most of the going through that python of the pension program should be well taken care of. And the reason why Chicago and the greater Chicago region has so much of things that are important still come back to, you're the realtor. Location, location, location. Exactly. We have an international airport that's got goes to 80 different countries nonstop every day. We have Lake Michigan. I can't really drum down how important it is to have one of the largest freshwater bodies in the world that we get to play in. plenty of room for green infrastructure and new things coming. We have plenty of room to grow, but also doing urban renewal, especially say in Skokie, Evanston. You saw some of this in the early 2000s, where you're taking obsolete housing stock and you're turning it into new housing stock, albeit at a higher gentrification piece. But because of the rails and the right-of-ways aren't changing ever, so you're always going to have the rail network. You're always going to have Northwestern's been around 120, 130 years. That's not going away anytime soon.
No.
You have this drive for people. People will need to be in Chicago for their businesses, and there are people who really enjoy all four seasons, even when it gets to minus 25 and even when it's 107. There are folks that really enjoy that. We have so many abundant green spaces that are so close. So when we have people that are coming in from abroad, they're just amazed to see how much open space there is for trails and outdoor amenities. We don't have the mountains of Colorado, we don't have the beaches of San Diego, but we have a good, consistent, resilient people who work here. They're all focused on getting their jobs done.
Yeah. And, what do you think that the leaders in the area can continue to do to make Chicagoland the global city? Is it all about, continuing to invest in the cultural pieces and the education, or where do you see the most important things to invest in?
Yeah, and that one is a big can of worms. As it is with you, there's not one hot button issue. It's really that's why I'm so thankful I'm not in politics and I'm not in administration of a municipality or the city, because there are so many different places and it takes a whole bunch of different stakeholders to keep that ecosystem going. And we have different people who want to live off of Millennium Park that want to just be here. We have other people who want to buy a 300-acre ranch and have nobody around them. So we have all those amenities. But things to talk with, say, Skokie and Evanston is continue doing what you're doing. As in, you have a desirable place for people to come. You have a cosmopolitan area where it's still open and welcoming to people of all different creeds, colors, religions, and countries. And so just continue doing what you're doing. I would think investing more in helping keeping that small town feel, where you have the small businesses that are kind of the lifeblood of, or they have the zeitgeist of the town. You have downtown Evanston and downtown Skokie and the Old Orchard area of Skokie, and you have those three place centers, really trying to drive more density to them, using the places, being forward thinking like Ignite Gaming and having those as central third spaces for things to happen. The politics and the tax rates and the education pieces are all going to work themselves out. But from a community placemaking position, it's just making sure you have places for spontaneity to happen.
Yeah. Now, if people have listened to this conversation, want to know more about Select Chicago, where can they go to?
Best place is SelectChicago.org is the best place to get a quick overview of what we're doing. On that should have links to our YouTube channel. A lot of the programming we've been doing over the last couple of years is there. You can get drink through a fire hose at 2x speed on our YouTube channel. So those are some great ways to learn more.
Yeah. And then you can sign up for things. And if you are a business that wants to come to the area, do you recommend that they contact you first, or should they just find a broker, or how does that work?
Really kind of comes into if they want to test the waters. I mean, right now, what's great about talking to us is, we're basically we're Switzerland, and we're not a representative of any one community. We can learn what they're looking to do and then kind of give them our take of what would work well. And you and I are thinking in a real estate piece, but sometimes it's just the getting started in the business space and also likening what's going to work best.
Right. I mean, because there's so many different dynamics of what to do, how you set up a company, how you deal with taxes as a foreign resident. I mean, I can imagine if I was going to another country, I would have a million different questions. And especially if English isn't your native language, that's a whole other a can of worms. But I assume that you can help everybody with everything there.
The best that we can. I mean, such as we have a lot of Japanese companies that wind up being in Arlington Heights. There's a lot of Polish companies that come to Skokie. There are a number of Mexican companies that come to Waukegan. And so all of them are looking for a place that's best total fit for them and their families. Yeah. And we get a lot of it comes into how good are the schools? Where am I going to go? Where's the best restaurant in town?
Well, you can certainly help them. I appreciate everyone listening today. If you want to learn more, go to selectchicago.org. And if you want to learn more about me and the show and real estate, go to skevinson.com. Stick around for the Hannah and Fred show. And everyone have a good week. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. All right. Bye, everybody.
It's me, your heart. High blood pressure is serious, and if you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away, you're wrong. I can quit whenever I want, but I